Welcome to Music She Missed, the podcast where I attempt to get my best friend caught up in some of the most popular songs and artists that impact our lives. I'm Allison.
Hi, I'm Rachel, and I missed all the music.
So, week number 2, here we are. My question for you is, why men great till they gotta be great?
Why men great? What the crap am I listening to this week? I don't even understand the stinking question.
So just to make sure, you haven't been creating a lot of like quarantine TikToks or anything.
TikTok? Well, I have this friend that says the security on TikTok is not, I don't know, whatever.
Oh yeah, no, I don't have it.
I don't have a TikTok account. I have a MySpace account. I don't know how to delete it though.
2003 called and okay. So the question I just asked you is the first line in a very popular song by this week's artist.
Very popular. Apparently, I don't even know what it is.
Oh, super popular. I mean, last year's Time Magazine Entertainer of the Year was this person. That's how popular. See, what's so funny is I knew even saying that would not give it away.
Wait. Say the line again. Maybe I'll catch it.
Why men great till they gotta be great?
Why men great? Gotta be great.
Okay. It's not important.
Clue.
Let's just do a drum roll and then I'll tell you who it is and we'll find out you don't know anything about them.
Of course.
And then we'll continue.
Okay.
Are you ready?
All right.
Drum roll. Lizzo.
What? Entertainer of the Year for 2019?
Yeah, based on my often incorrect Google scans. Yeah.
Lizzo? Like a lizard?
No, not like a lizard at all. Nothing.
Is it a girl or a boy?
Well, I don't want to, give too much away.
Well,
I don't want to steal any thunder.
For Elizabeth.
Or
is it a lizard because this guy, I don't know, likes to play with lizards on him.
Okay. So, I'm going to assume you've never heard any of these songs, but, I'm just gonna see. Have you heard the song Good as Hell featuring Ariana Grande?
Nope.
Okay. You definitely haven't heard Truth Hurts because I just said that. I don't even know why I'm bothering. We need to rank your current knowledge of Lizzo on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being you've never heard of them before and 10 being you saw her in concert last year.
I'm going to go with the number 10. Just kidding. Number 1.
Cool. Okay, so that's what I thought. Awesome. This artist is super fun. I listen to her literally every day.
Can my kid listen to it?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Not
2 weeks
close.
in a row.
My child sometimes wanders in, and sometimes I just turn it down a little bit, and sometimes I turn it off. But she's super fun, upbeat, really great jams that you're going to have a lot of fun listening to in your ears, not in your speaker where your child can hear.
Yes. Okay.
And for this episode, we have my friend Jessa.
Yay!
Who loves Lizzo and was so excited, has been begging me to be on the show.
Really?
And made a playlist just for you to introduce you to this artist that she really enjoys.
I'm excited. This is cool. I like season 5 with all these guest hosts. That's cool.
I know. They're all super people. So go home, listen to it every day for a week. We'll come back together. Jessa will be here and we'll talk about it.
I will go home. This is during the pandemic.
All home.
We're all home.
I cannot break out of my pre-quarantine vocabulary. By the time this episode comes out, I don't know, the murder hornets will have eaten all our brains and no one will even remember quarantine.
This will all be a memory.
All right. Well, Rachel, I will see you virtually in a week, and the audience will be back with you in just a moment.
Here we go.
Welcome back. Rachel, you spent the last week listening to Lizzo. How'd it go?
It was the most interesting week I have ever had. Like, honestly, this is season 5, and you have shocked me every single week. But this week, it felt like I was so conflicted. Like, I don't understand this. I don't understand myself. I questioned everything in life. Like, is up still up? Is down still down? I didn't know what was going on.
Wow. Well, before we go any farther into the existential crisis that this week's artist created for you, I do need to welcome our awesome guest host for this week, my friend Jessa.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Jessa.
I'm so excited. I have become such a fan of the podcast. I've really been listening to it all week.
Yeah, and I love binging it.
I have. It's been awesome.
You know, Rachel, I know a lot of questions came up for you during this week, but Jessa, I would love to hear how you fell in love with this artist.
Yes, I love Lizzo. Let's see. I would definitely say, I don't listen to early music. I'm not a music lover who knows about new artists, because there's a lot of Lizzo fans who are like, have been loving her since 2015, 2016, because she's been hustling for a long time. But I did discover her just right before she really exploded this past year. And it was really just, I heard one of her songs on, what is it, Venus on Sirius XM or something, and I really liked it. And she's just got a lot of funk, which I'm a huge fan of, just funk. And I do like pop and R&B and hip hop and her message. So that one song, which was Juice, caused me to look her up on Spotify. And then, man, second song, I was like, oh my gosh, just her positivity and self-love and just all this, everything she really stands for. I was just immediately like, couldn't consume it fast enough. Like, give me more. So, yeah.
And in fact, did you go see her in concert?
I did. I'm so excited. And I saw her at the Granada in October.
Wow.
And I don't go to a lot of concerts. I am not, like, Allie's a music lover. I do love music, but I'm a lazy music listener. Concerts, unless somebody hands me like a free ticket or something like that. But my husband got me tickets. You guys it was a concert where you had to stand the whole time.
Oh, those are the only concerts worth going to. I just want to say, when people sit down, I'm like, stand up. This is music.
See, Allison's the type that, seeks out those concert tickets. You're the one like, oh, I got some. I'm the one that, oh, I got some. They're going to sit on my desk, and I'm still not going to go. And I've gotten front row tickets to places. And
she got front row tickets to the Red Hot Chili Peppers and didn't go because she didn't know who they were. And it makes me so mad.
Well, I can respect that choice, but perhaps pop your head out and just be like, anybody ever heard of these people? Because you never.
But I didn't even know how to ask people for it. Like, hey, do you want to go to Brad Paisley? Oh, they sat on my desk.
Okay. Well,
okay.
We could talk about all the other artists that we missed, but thank you, Jessa, for sharing that. And Rachel, I would just love to know overall, what was your impression?
Like, very true. I was very conflicted. Her lyrics come through very clearly. And I was just listening to it. And I was like, this I cannot let my child listen to. I just can't have my kid repeat some of these words. and I can't even listen to this music while sitting in the same room of my grandmother, and I just can't even listen to this music anywhere. I don't know where. So where do people listen to Lizzo?
Yeah,
Where do people?
you're a mom, Jessa. Where do you listen to Lizzo?
Well, my car, the kitchen, exercising, running, walking,
Earphones.
yeah.
Okay, so earphones. Okay, I need to get some earphones.
My kids have danced to some Lizzo, and my daughter has recognized her on the radio, but we listen to kind of 106.1,
Right.
whatever's. That's pretty normal.
So they make Lizzo's music into something like family friendly listening?
So the radio edits songs and
Right.
has forever. So a lot of songs that you've heard
Yeah?
yes, of course.
Well, I haven't
Sometimes
listened
they
to
do it with like a little instrumental or like a beep or a different word, or lots of songs that we've heard have radio versions.
I know Kids Bop Kids because of my kid.
Yes.
But mostly, I'm listening to music from the Mary Poppins movie or Somewhere Over the Rainbow, things like that.
Oh yes, we've listened. We love us some Moana. We do all that too. But every once in a while, mommy needs her music, and my kids do like listening to the radio. We'll listen to the radio, and so when Lizzo started coming on the radio, that was very exciting.
Yes, she is. Her beat, her lyrics are just so massive. They're so big. They fill the room, and they're very colorful. And I'm just the type of person that colors inside the lines. She tends to color outside the lines, and lines that I didn't even know that were there. I'm like, is the lines a dot to her?
Hold on, Rachel. Can you explain what you mean about coloring in the lines? What lines do you think that she is outside of? Is it just that the language is not family friendly? Because I kind of feel like you're asking Quentin Tarantino to make like a kids movie. And I just feel like, why would you do that?
Who's Quentin Tarantino?
Oh my God, really?
Really? Who is he?
Movies she missed coming to.
Well, I don't know. But the funny thing is when I look into her lyrics, put me on a pedestal, bet on me, what's 2 + 2, Game Boy, just took a DNA test. I don't do this for you, mirror, mirror on the wall. She takes these words like mirror, mirror on the wall. I've done that with my kid, and I'm just like, wow, excuse me.
Wait. You just read a lot of stuff. Are you saying like she's taking phrases that you're already familiar with and she's like putting them in new contexts? Is that what's kind of messing with you?
Well, the context, and then some of it is like lingerie. I would not be able to say those words or listen to that song with my grandmother in the room, in the sense of just like,
ooh. Why would you listen to any sexy song with your grandmother in the room?
Exactly.
Well,
okay, Jessa.
I think the coloring inside the lines is a great point, because I think that's what's so awesome about Lizzo, and why I really believe she's an icon that's going to really be lasting, because she is very much about breaking the mold of what a female pop star looks like and sounds like. And I mean, I feel like her generation has already kind of started it, and she just up front, and she's a great, what icons are, is a great symbol and voice of this new younger generation that really values body positivity. I mean, that's a big thing for her, and that's definitely. So I just say I think that's absolutely a great way of talking about how your difference from Lizzo's, but I think that is what Lizzo wants. There's a big part of her voice and her music that is ultimately, rebellious. Of she's very big about don't put me in a box, and for any of us, anybody, but especially, and that's a huge part of, I think, what makes her music great too, because she's had so many different. Her songs have a lot of different kind of influences, and yeah,
she is dripping with talent.
Yeah.
dude, that girl, like the way she can make some of those words dance and how she can pull them out of her mouth. And I'm like, wow, she is talented. And then my next question is this. Does she play instruments? Does she do these beats? Is that all her?
I love that question because she does play, she plays other instruments, but mostly she plays the flute. She's classically trained.
Woo!
Yeah, she had a music scholarship, the U of A. She's a Texas girl too, y'all. Those were her formative years were Texas. So she's, she dropped out her junior year of college because she was very much in this place of trying to be a college student, but also she was every night doing shows and just felt like if she was really serious about the singing career, so she dropped out of college. But yeah, she is classically trained flautist and then, plays other instruments, but, yeah, her music, her lyrics, that's her.
So, Jessa, you were talking about how she dropped out of school.
Oh, no.
I read in one of the articles that
Yeah,
it was
so
unfortunately
she had
because
a really
her dad
difficult
passed
year
away.
in 2010. She dropped out of college, and her father was really supportive of her passion for music and her singing. But after she dropped out, that happened shortly after. So it was a really big, difficult year for her. After he passed away, her family also moved, but she chose to stay in Houston because she had commitments in her music and kind of couch surf with friends. But it was extremely challenging, but also really formative year that she's talked about a lot. She was 21 at the time, but it was kind of a make or break for her in regards to like, if you're really doing this. Yeah. And her father, big influence in regards to, he just always really believed in her. And so, losing him was a big deal, but also a big, impetus, I think, really pushed her further.
Yeah, that's really cool. I'm a daddy's girl too. So,
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that instrument of the flute. So
Yeah.
How long did she train in the flute?
So she started when she was 12.
Wow.
And she was in marching band all through high school. She talks about this a lot about her, just always calls herself a nerd and how she was, in marching band and kind of those kind of stereotypes and stuff. And definitely if you ever hear a flute in a song of hers, which she brings it out on stage a lot. She totally brought it out at the concert. Everyone was like, wow. And it's awesome because she's killing it. And then also like dancing and just doing all kinds of awesome dance moves on stage, but like playing the flute. So
wow,
it's awesome.
So talking about lessons, did she take rapping lessons? Do people take rapping lessons? Because she is seriously talented. Like, I was blown away of just her delivery of the lyrics. And I was, yeah.
I don't know about rapping lessons. I'm sure that is available, but what I will say about Lizzo is did not take rapping lessons. I think like many rap artists, she kind of came up, going to gigs, working with other rap artists, competing and that kind of stuff. But she did take singing lessons. Her family is musical, and she talks about how she didn't ever feel like she could really sing. Actually, her first real time to like sing on stage in front of people was for an audition. She was in a rock band for a little bit, which is like so Lizzo because she just does a little bit of everything. And they asked if she could sing, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I can sing." And she kind of improvised and then took some singing classes to kind of build up her confidence in that skill. But yeah, I mean, she's originally and always wanted to be a rap artist. Wow. But we're so few women, and still it's still such a male dominated. I mean, so many music types are, but especially rap. But that's another thing that I think makes her super fierce too. But yeah, I agree, Rachel. I love her. She's so clever with her words, and that's another fun part of her music.
I want to mention that I was reading an article about her this morning that as a young woman growing up in Houston, she would call in like radio stations and freestyle rap like on air for contests and stuff like that. So a lot of it, it's like any skill that you have to practice, right? And she's obviously like got natural talent and is like gifted at it, but there's also something about coming up with new rhymes, coming up with new ways to play with language, right? That you like develop over time.
Yeah, I think rap is a lot like stand-up comedy a little bit because it's very much there. You probably can take classes, but because it's very much come of the street and there are rap clubs host rap battles and they can happen anywhere in high school cafeterias all the time or in outside of on school grounds and stuff. And young people, I think that's where a lot of the skills are honed is. And stand-up comedy is kind of a lot like that. I mean, you can take classes of stand-up comedy, but a lot of it is just about getting out
social.
Every night.
Yeah. It's a social experience of putting yourself out there and failing publicly over and over again.
Yeah.
Until you're good at it.
But if somebody did offer a rap class, I would love to take it. And Rachel, if you want to take it with me, let's do it. Because I would learn.
So do that with you, Jessa. Like, seriously, I am awful at rap. I can sing, I can speak, I cannot rap.
You can't rap yet. Let's not limit ourselves.
Not
I
yet.
was asked to rap once, and all I did was count from 1 to 7. So that was about it.
Well, it sounds like what the Black Eyed Peas would do. So you're probably I like that Rachel's laughing at a joke that she doesn't get.
No, I know that song. They talk about the new year, right?
Yeah. What? Okay. Well, all right. Interesting.
I know that song.
Interesting.
It's only
One
because
musical
it was turned
thing
into
to know.
a Kids Bop Cave song. So.
All right. Enough about Kids Bop. Do you have some more questions about this artist?
So when I'm listening to the Spotify playlist, okay, so there's always a reason why Allison kind of lists all the songs. Sometimes they're maybe in chronological order or just she wants, to get all the feels. I'm done with the playlist and then it goes to the next song and it's Dolly Parton. How in the world is Dolly Parton, who's quite wholesome, and I would give her a hug and I would listen to her music with my grandmother, is associated with Lizzo? What is going on?
So I'm going to go ahead and answer this question because I was listening to the Lizzo playlist and it ended and it did not go to Dolly Parton. It went to Lake Street Dive, which was the last thing I had been listening to. And I think just their algorithm just was like, oh, you listened to a lot of this. So, because it didn't make any sense. It did not go into like other artists like Lizzo. So I think there's something wrong with Spotify. But Jessa, what happened to you?
I'm a huge Dolly fan. Dolly is somebody I've seen also in concert. And I absolutely see a correlation. I could totally see crossover fandom because they both have a real authenticity. And their songs, there's so much in their songs about self-love. And that's something Dolly has this quote about figure out who you are and do that. That's Lizzo. I mean, that's Lizzo too. And so I could definitely see, I am somebody who loves Dolly and loves Lizzo. So,
I still think it's a mistake in the algorithm.
No, I think she's right. I think Jess is right in the sense of Dolly Parton. Because I'm a fan of Dolly Parton too. Yeah. And I'm figuring out how to be a fan with Lizzo through this podcast.
Okay.
All right. So, I want to talk about some of my faves. Okay.
Before you do, Rachel.
Oh, okay.
I want to tell you because I want Jessa to have a chance to tell you why she put the songs in the order she did.
Yes.
And also to talk about that Lizzo's rise to fame in terms of like worldwide has been very recent comparatively, especially with most of the artists we've studied.
Like Dolly Parton.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Jessa?
Yeah. So, well, the order was really, I think the very first song was like the first song of Lizzo that I knew, which I think is Juice. And then after that, I did some of her early stuff. Unfortunately, I came to know Lizzo through Spotify, and she had 2 early albums. One's called Lizzo Bangers and one's called Big Girl Small World. And that Big Girl Small World, if I had had access to it, I would have loved to have put 1 or 2 songs because there are some really great songs in there that I think is really early. Well, it's just there's some good songs in there that are very Lizzo. But anyways, I tried to so I went with some earlier stuff from Coconut Oil, which is an album that had a couple, and that was definitely Coconut Oil, Worship are very, but they're earlier. And then almost all the rest are from her really big album that's just come out. So the thing about Lizzo is she's been making music since 2010, but
Wow.
she was in her 21. But yeah, I mean, she was in a couple of rap groups, a rock band. She toured a lot. Really, first album was 2014. In 2016, after Big Girl Small World, and she was like touring with like all kinds of different musicians, and was doing, concerts in Glasgow and all over. But like 2016, one of her songs, Good as Hell, was like in the movie Barber Shop, and that was a big break. And this song, Truth Hurts, also came out, and people were like, oh my gosh, she's gonna blow up. She didn't immediately. She talks about how actually the year that song came out, which I think was 2016 also, or 2017, and it
2016, I think. Yeah.
Okay, and when it didn't lead to immediately or really, really go as far as they thought it would, that was the second time she really thought about quitting, because she just felt like, I've put in so much, I've sacrificed so much, and if I stopped tomorrow, it wouldn't matter. But her family, her friends, and really her family, she's very close with all of her family, big family, really close. They really wouldn't let her, and thank goodness, because what happened basically, 2018, some of her songs show up in a couple other movies. Early 2019, she is just everywhere all of a sudden. I mean, Truth Hurts, Good as Hell, those two songs are really top of the charts, but also like commercials. Like there's a Macy's commercial I remember during Christmas with the song Water Me, and just like lots of Lizzo everywhere. And also, again, her personality, her any of her live performances that have happened in the last year, the BET Awards, the Grammys, they've all been a big deal. I mean, again, she just exudes when she dances on stage. She puts the same effort that you hear in her voice and her lyrics into everything, so that you can imagine then like what her performances are like. So it's a big deal.
So, and 2019 being such a big explosive year, that's also the year where she won like a ton of Grammys. Like she was nominated and won a lot. And as I mentioned to you in our first half, Entertainer of the Year, right? So when Jessa saw Lizzo in concert, Jessa, wasn't it one of your friends that you were originally supposed to go with, and then like she couldn't go or something? Did that happen?
No,
because your husband asked me, he was like, do you like Lizzo? And I was like, oh, I don't really know very much about her, because it was like a while ago. And because you were looking for somebody to go with.
Right. He got me 2 tickets, and I was like, oh, thank you so much, sweetie. Are you going with me? And he's like, am I? I'm like, I was like, I think you'd enjoy it, but I don't know if I would enjoy it. So yeah, I didn't know who for certain was going. I knew who I wanted to go, just a dear, dear best friend.
Got it.
Who, but she lives
and that's who you went with, right?
She lives in another state. So I was like, would you, I mean, you'd have to book a flight, and she totally did. And we had an awesome girls weekend, and we were both like, we can't wait to see her again in a even larger venue where we can sit down sometimes. Because this concert, we had to stand the whole time, and I was like, oh, my legs.
Yeah. But it was you, and there was another friend that asked me about going to that concert, and I'd only heard a couple of the hits. I just like wasn't a big enough, I hadn't been listening to enough to say I want to go to the concert, because when I go to a concert, I want to know all the songs. I want to sing along with everything, and if I can't, I don't want to go.
Right.
And so that's why I'm telling you, Rachel, that the explosion, you don't have to feel bad about this one, because it's kind of new. It's just so big.
Yeah.
Right? Like so fast, so big explosion.
Yeah.
So that was what I wanted to say about that. Rachel, what are your likes and dislikes? We want to know what you think.
So one of the things that kind of shocked me through this week was that for me, I'm a wholesome person. I don't swear. Someone who's known me all my life actually said to me today, because I was talking to her, this is the first time I've ever heard you swear, and I just don't swear. That's not who
That
I
is
am.
not true. But
I
go
know.
on.
For you, that's true. Because I have called you and expressed emotions, and because you're a
No,
safe place for me.
Well, you
I
guys,
just kidding. You are Rachel, you are very wholesome. I agree.
you were like
Even your
roommates.
swears are real wholesome.
Huh?
You guys were like roommates, right? So roommates get to see all of the many shades of a person. So
Yes.
Yes. And so for me, at first I was like, on the first 2 days, I was like, forget this. I'm going to have to call Allison. I'm going to have to somehow break it to Jessa. This is not going to work for me. I cannot do this. This is just pass. But I was like, okay, one, Allison loves me. Allison knows me. She gotta know that this isn't my flow. This isn't my go. So I'm like continuing to listen and then trying to give it a shot. And I really do like the beat though. She's very talented on the beat, and I couldn't not listen to it. Like it got to the point by the end of the week. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I was talking to another friend. I was like, hey, I want to let you know how cool am I. I know this band and I want to show you who this person is. And her name is Lizzo. And so by the end of the week, I was like telling my friends about it. Hey, we're listening to Lizzo this week for music she missed. I've got all the cool points and you don't. Nanny, nanny, boo, boo. So, weirdly enough, there's only 2 songs, count them 1, 2, that are my least favorite.
Okay,
Only
what
2.
are they? What are they?
Sorry, lingerie. I cannot listen to that song.
I can respect that for sure. It's not one of my favorites, but I wanted to include it in there because again, she's not afraid of being as feminine as hell, and also being she's not afraid of being super feminine, and especially because she's very positive about her body and all of our body types. I think I wanted to make sure I included that song. It kind of reminds me a bit of Prince, and he's definitely he's one of the only, she did get to collaborate with him before she really made it famously.
What an honor.
Yeah, and so I even though it's not really my favorite, I wanted to include it on the list, but I hear that, Rachel.
And Jerome, that's another one. The slow, and I didn't like the beat. And because of Lizzo, I had to be the beat of the song for me to like the song, and Jerome didn't have it.
Yeah.
Jerome actually won a Grammy for best, I don't know. She won a bunch of Grammys. One of them was for that song.
I didn't know that.
My favorite song out of all of the songs is Boys.
Yes, that is one of my favorite songs too. Did you like that song because it's not explicit, or just because it's fun?
I thought there was an E on every single song for her.
That one's clean.
Yeah, that one, yes. Listening back, Boys is clean. I did like it not only because there was some artwork to some of those lyrics, and it was like art in all the different colors, and she was just displaying her talent and just how she delivered the music, how she pulled out the beats, how she created the dance between her music and the lyrics. And I was like, girl, you're dancing upside down on top of the ceiling. Go, girl, go.
Yes, I agree. It's such a fun song.
Very fun. And then I can't help but love Phone, because there's days and moments that we all lose our phone. Oh, but you're holding it.
I'm so glad you like that one, because I know it's so goofy, and that like the beat. I feel like once you know she's was for the marching band, like that drum beat is like, it's relentless. But I totally I can't tell you how many times in my day where I'm like, where's my phone? Where is my phone?
It reminds me a little bit of the drum beat from Beyonce's Girls. It's got that kind of military tappy tap. But I also liked that song and the little it's in your hand bit at the end.
Yeah.
And like the Louboutins, like walking home at 4 a.m. And it was relatable.
Yeah, I feel like it really captures that experience, and whether you were out late at a club or just you were a maid of honor in somebody's wedding, and you worked all day, and the party's finally over, and it was like a wonderful time, but you're also deliriously tired, and you're just like, what? Where did I? Wasn't that fun? Oh my god! But just kind of like so done with the day.
And finally, but definitely not least, Juice.
Yeah.
Like, truly, I'm like Chardonnay, but I get better over time. Lizzo, you truly did get better throughout the time this week. So
I'm so glad. And because Rachel, the more I listened to the podcast, I thought, oh no, what's going to happen? So I'm really glad. And there are definitely clean versions out there. My best friend's daughter, who's 8, is in like a dance troupe, competitive dance troupe, and they are dancing to like a Lizzo. I think it's "Water Me," which that is a clean one. I don't know if that was on the list, but it's so there will be clean versions, and she's young still, so there's as she goes through. I mean, I think that's Lizzo's voice. She'll always be like that. If you ever see any of her interviews, many times she's like they have to bleep her, but also. I think, I'm sure there will be many other songs that come along that hopefully that your daughter can dance to. Cause you asked, what do I do with Lizzo, or where do I listen to her? I don't know. There's lots of places I listen to her, but it's also like, well, where's a good place to dance? Where do I dance? I dance a lot in my kitchen, and Lizzo's great for dancing. So no.
I think emotion to be able to, really take any basic situation, from losing your phone to just wanting to say, hey, I want to tell you something, and it's not going to be pretty, and the truth hurts. And she finds a beat to it and puts so emotion and strength. And it sounds like she's a workaholic, and then also she's really putting all her efforts in, and it really does show.
I think another place, and you mentioned this earlier, Jessa, is exercising. At least for me, I mean, I listen to her every single day to exercise. The song Fitness gets me through a lot of squats.
Yeah.
But I think it's really fun to listen to music that is pro-woman, pro-sex positivity, like body positivity.
Yeah.
Like, these things are really like encouraging and empowering, and especially for me right now, like I don't have a lot of motivation to exercise or do a lot of self-care. Like, we're living through a really crappy pandemic, and listening to this music like puts me in a positive mood.
Yeah. I listened to this interview where she just talked about self-care and how she kind of realized that self-care is a way to help improve the world, that by giving yourself time to heal or just love yourself, you are going to be a better person and be able to contribute more to the world, which I think is a great way to put it. But also, what did you just say that really made me think of? I can't remember. But yes, everything you said.
All right.
I don't remember what you just said, and I really wanted to say more, but I can't remember. So
it'll come back to you if it needs to make it on air.
It'll come back to me. But yeah, she again, her voice. She has such a clear voice, and I think that is also what makes a strong artist. Is any kind of artist. I also just was binge watching. Speaking of pandemic and being stuck at home and stuff. Binge watching Make the Cut. It's on Amazon Prime. It's kind of like a fashion. It's about designers, anyways. Which I don't know a lot about it, but it was really cool. And I do think it's so true for any kind of artist. Like, the stronger their vision, the easier it is, or not the easier, but they're probably going to have a career because they're going to continue to have something to say. And so I hope that's true for Lizzo, because I want to keep listening. I can't remember what you just said that I really wanted to say something about. Oh, okay. Yeah, her song's just making you feel strong. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so sometimes the day can feel kind of small and insignificant. And sometimes just being in the car with the windows down and listening to a Lizzo song can really just make me feel, stronger and remind me that I have a lot to celebrate and to offer. And Truth Hurts is also, I remember having a conversation with my sister about, or she sent me like a mom's blog about breakup songs, and that breakup songs written by women tend to be about how sad I am that we've broken up, and how Truth Hurts is so empowering. I mean, I love the first line of Truth Hurts. Why man great till they gotta be great, right? I love that song, because, you have a girlfriend who's dating someone, she's like, oh, he's great. He's really great. And then, something happens and turns out it's not so great. Anyways. And I think that's what's really, I'm excited for my daughter doesn't listen to a lot of Lizzo. She knows Juice and she knows Truth Hurts because it's on the radio. But I'm excited for my daughter that I think female voices in pop music is really going to be different in 10, 15 years because of and there's other female artists out there like her, but because of people like Lizzo. So good.
My favorite line is, only exes that I care about are in my blank chromosome.
Yes, I love that.
Sometimes I'm like, I wish I was going through a breakup right now so I could just be like, yeah, even though like, it's like, everything's fine, but I don't really need you. I'm Macaulay Culkin home alone.
Yeah.
Like that just makes me smile,
Totally.
Yes. It's very positive. All right, Rachel. So we have talked about who Lizzo is. We've talked about why she's important, why Jessa likes her, what you think about her, but really all we want is for you to quantify it on a scale of 1 to 10. Let's see, 1 being the truth hurts because you don't like her, and 10 being you worship her.
Good.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
8.
Wow. Oh my gosh. I love it.
I am blown away by that number as well. I just think she has a strong beat and you cannot help but listen to it and fall in love with the beat and just the love for herself and love for others. I think she's going to go somewhere.
Yay.
Yay. I mean, I have to say I was nervous that you were gonna, not do the show anymore. Every week I'm like, Rachel's not gonna do the show anymore.
Well, thank you for not calling Allie, and thank you for giving her a chance. Cause like I said, the more I got to listen to the podcast this week, the more I was like, oh, this is a bit okay. And I even putting tempo on the list, I was like, you got to put tempo in there.
Oh, but tempo has that awesome strong beat. You
I love it. That's awesome. That's
so
great.
Cool.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for introducing Lizzo to my life. I look forward to looking into more of Lizzo and maybe finding some more non-E rated versions of her songs.
It'll happen.
Audience, if you want to follow along with Rachel's journey, please like us on Facebook and Twitter, subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, and follow this playlist and all the playlists by searching for Spotify, user, music she missed. Yay. Thanks so much for listening.
Thanks so much and have a great week.
Bye.
Bye. I know this music. Da, 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 da.